Are you tired of conceding those cheap goals when the opponent just outplays his pace with nothing that you can do anymore? Whether it be those deep through balls that catch you off guard, or stupidly simple runs which lead to breakthroughs on the wing, it feels like there's not much skill required, but nevertheless, it always leads to the same outcome. You at the kickoff spot. But we are going to change this. It's time to fight those cheap goals and pace abusing opponents. Well, okay, I'm not so innocent at all when it comes to using pace in my attacks, as I also have my fair share of goals that I score like this, but that's a story for another video. In this video, however, I will provide you with 8 simple tips and guidelines on how to stop the pace abusers. I'm Benjamin, also known as Taz, former pro, and now helping you to improve at FIFA. So let's start with exactly that. There are 2 ways you can defend through balls. First, you cover the run and prevent the opponent's players from receiving the ball. For this, you have to recognize the run. Now you have to switch to a player to cover that run. Most of the time, this player is in your defensive line, so right stick player switches might be required to be as precise with your player selection. After switching to this player, you want to pick up the run of the opponent by sprinting back as well. With such an early player switch, you reduce the pace advantage of the opponent, and you also get your defender in a good position to either intercept the through ball or at least hinder the opponent from receiving the ball. Sometimes you can also block his run a bit, making it less likely that he will surpass you. If you don't make those early player switches, there's always the threat that your opponent just overlaps your defender with his pace advantage, and then it's too late. Depending on the concrete situation, it can also be useful to activate second man press with R1 or RB. That way you also have pressure on the player that wants to play the pass while you focus on the run. Your second man can either block the pass, or it does give you the opportunity to switch to the second man to defend the passer on your own after you made sure that the run isn't a threat anymore. And this leads me to the second option to defend through balls. Instead of covering the run, you can also try to pressure the passer itself. Basically, you have 2 ways to deny through balls. Either you cover the run or you deny the pass. Pressuring the pass is something that you can do when you already have a player close to the passer, or when the opponent is, for example, dribbling with high pace, which makes it easier to tackle for the ball. It can also be something as a last resort, when you were too late for a player switch to cover the run of an opponent's attacker. Then your only option is to move out aggressively to prevent this pass from happening, as this is your last chance to defend the situation. What is really important, whatever you do, be decisive about it. In this example, I do both. First, I cover the run a bit, then I switch to pressure the passer. But I don't do it decisively enough, and the opponent is able to play the pass nevertheless. At the end I conceded, even though I was totally aware of what was happening. Learning from your own mistakes is part of getting a better player. Another way is to check out the Guide Plus, which offers you almost daily content to help you to improve in FIFA that you can try out with a 7-day trial for free. We have plenty of videos and articles in different categories and help you with the topics that you struggle with the most. Or just follow structured courses, track your progress and earn badges. Along the way, different quiz tabs help you to test your knowledge and learn more efficiently. Join our awesome community and download the app for free. You can find the link in the description or in the top right corner. Another big threat in FIFA 23 are those solo pace runs. Especially against high-paced wingers or attackers with a lengthy acceleration type, one misstep or wrong positioning can be enough to make the opponent slip through your defensive net. Since these solo pace runs are as viable and as easy to do, a lot of opponents will push for them this year. So we have to prioritize it in our approach for defending. When the opponent has the option to cut inside or keep sprinting down the wing, rather position yourself in a way to cover off the wing. That way you can keep up with him in the case he decides to sprint through. One more time, it's also required to be early and proactive with your player switches. When you notice that your opponent starts a run and you're still with your midfielder, unsure whether you're able to catch him, the safer option is to switch to a defender. Otherwise, there's the chance to lose valuable time to get in a proper position to defend the solo run, because you cannot rely on the AI defender and him picking up the run or being in a good position. Another thing which I see quite often as a mistake is the path that the player takes to run back. They drift to wide, taking a longer path and thus increasing the overall distance they have to run. This doesn't help your chances of winning a running duel. At the end, the opponent needs to get closer to your goal, so there isn't as much urgency to face him on the wing. When you're too eager to get in the duel with your opponent, there's a higher chance that he surpasses you, which leaves your wing open and vulnerable. Prioritize running back instead of getting closer to the opponent, as this is the safer option and helps you to establish a stronger defending position. Nevertheless, you might end up in situations where you underestimate the threat of the opponent to break through on the wing. In such instances, it can also be worth a shot to just go for the tackle. Yeah, it might not be clean at the end, but sometimes it is just worth it to stop the opponent right in his tracks before he is able to surpass you and leave you in the dust. This tip might sound too simple, but there's a lot of truth to it. In order to fight back pace, it helps quite a lot to have fast defenders as well. In the beginning of FIFA 23, we were in the lengthy meta on next gen. With the changes in November, raw pace is more important now. This is also something that we underline in a lesson at the Guide Plus, in which we explain how the German champion Dual Mike qualified for the E-Champions League and adapted to the meta. Part of it was relying more on raw pace instead of lengthy for the defenders. Find the link to it in the top right corner or in the description. In the background you can see some examples of Gold Militao. This was at the end of October, peak lengthy meta. I played him with a shadow chemistry style, which makes him controlled, not lengthy. Nevertheless, he was able to stand his ground. This emphasizes how valuable pace is, and when you're unsure about your defender or chemistry selection, it's probably wiser to go for pace. All these tips so far should help you to get in better positions to deny those deep through balls or defend the solo runs. But it can be as quick as a heartbeat that you make a mistake and your opponent breaks through. It happens. Now the goalkeeper is your last chance to stop the opponent from scoring, and something that can help is to pull him out quite early. This is especially true in central positions or when the opponent plays a through ball. As soon as you see the potential that the opponent gets through, press and hold the triangle or Y button to pull out the goalkeeper. When you're early enough, there's a chance that he gets to the ball before the attacker is able to reach it. Another way you can make use of this is to fake the pullout. Pull him out, but only until the opponent recognizes this. Before he takes his next ball contact, you let go of the button so your goalkeeper moves back in goal. In the meantime, your opponent already made up his mind on how to deal with the goalkeeper that rushes out. Sometimes he will go for a chip that then can fail miserably. Or he let go of the sprint button, which does give you another chance to catch up. Smart goalkeeper movement can be a game changer when it comes to defending those one-on-one situations. These were my 8 tips to defend the attempts of your opponent to overwhelm you with pace. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If that is the case, I would highly appreciate a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to get more helpful tips. And after we fixed your defense, it's time to fix your build-up to create more chances. Check out our video about common mistakes in build-up and how to avoid them. You can click on it right now in the center of your screen. This is it from my side. Don't forget to check out the Guide Plus. Thanks for your attention. Keep a clean sheet. I'm out.